After many days of trial and error and testing things over and over again, I finally produced a easy to follow guide for you guys. This stage is honestly a very difficult one, but at least I found a strategy that I think is very easy for you to switch around and use in your account. So I'm going to do this in challenge mode, meaning to say that this strategy also works for normal mode. The challenge condition states that 7 tiles on the battlefield are banned and enemies cannot be silenced, which is quite a painful challenge because it causes some of your strategies to fall apart. So let me do this in practice because I've already cleared the stage. This is the squad that I'm going to be bringing. The main star of the show is a skill 3 M3 Eyjafjalla. So if you don't have that, please borrow that. Or if you don't have a friend with that, you can come to my Discord server to add someone. Now, the reason why using casters is very effective for this stage is that a lot of the enemies are weak to arts damage. So if you click around their stats, you can see that they all have a resistance of C, but they have a very high defense. The only person with a high resistance is the shaman himself, which makes sense because he's an arts dealer. So that's why we're using a Eyjafjalla to help out. She'll deal a lot of damage onto the boss. And the thing is, even though she deals a lot of damage, it's not going to be enough actually. The boss has 60,000 HP. As you see over here, he has a HP of S, which is a ridiculous amount. One Eyjafjalla is not going to be enough to take him out. That's why we're using 2 casters instead. So the second caster that I chose is a click. But if let's say you don't have a click build, you want some other alternatives, you can use other casters that you have. So for instance, you can use your Kyobi at skill 2, Carnelian at skill 3, Amiya, you could use skill 2, I think that would be fine. If you don't want to use arts damage, but I think Angelina is okay as well. If you don't want to use arts damage, you want to use physical damage, you can, but I warn you because the boss has 1200 defense. An effective physical damage dealer that I see is Chen. If you want short spike work as well, but you only have 1 tile to use for a skill 3. If not, you can also buff the damage of Eyjafjalla. So for instance, if you have a Saria at skill 3 M3, Suzerain at skill 3 M3, or a Skadi Alter, then you don't need 2 arts dealers, you can just use 1. Alright? Then for the other operators that you see here, there's a Arts Guard. So the Arts Guard will be handling the bottom lane, as you'll see later on. And if you have stronger Arts Guard, you can use them, but it doesn't have to be an Arts Guard. If you have a strong damage dealer, for instance, physical one like a Taunts or a Lapland or Blaze, they'll work just fine. If you want to use Duelist Guards, you can, but I would recommend a Duelist Guard that is 5-star and above. So Flamebringer skill 2 would work, Skadi on her skill 3 would work as well. If not, you can also use an Enmity Guard like a Helica or a La Pluma, or if you want a strong Vanguard like a Siege or Bagpipe, they'll work well as well to replace Moose. Alright, then for Midnight, you'll want a range card in play. By now, most of you would have built at least one. And the reason why we're using a range card is because there's a defender that we're going to put in front. So we still want someone to deal damage. If you have a Lapland, an Arene, or a Taunts, they will be very good replacements, or a Silver Ash. Then you'll see that I brought a Ethan and a Orchid into the stage. So these are what we call our slowers. We know that there's that running bird that explodes on the machine. And in order to best kill him, we want him to run his life away and then kill his own self instead of dealing damage against him. So the reason why we're bringing 2 people to hold him back is because 1 person is just not enough. I wish I can only use an Orchid, but because she's only a 3-star, she's not gonna do like a lot. And that's the purpose of having an Ethan in. Ethan on his skill 2, that is. If you don't want to use an Ethan, you can avoid it by bringing a strong slower. So if you have an Isina on skill 1, and Angelina on skill 2, or a Suzerain on skill 3, then you don't need an Ethan anymore. But if you don't have strong slowers, you only have like someone who can only slow for that small duration of time, then you can also replace your Ethan with other people as well. Your Ethan can be replaced by Manticore on skill 1, or you can replace him with Mizuki on skill 2 as well. If you really don't want to slow the bird, you can just deal as much damage as you can onto him. So if you have a Surtur, a Silver Ash, a Ash, or a Chen, they'll be very good to rip some HP off the bird so that he managed to kill himself before he reaches the box. Alright? Then for the last few operators, you'll want 2 single target medic. The stronger the better. Please make it as easy for you. If you have a Warfin or a Shining, they'll be fantastic within here. Then take 2 Vanguards. You'll want someone who has strong DP generation, so a Myrtle or a Elysium, or if you have other Vanguards that you have built, that are very good, then you can replace Myrtle as well. Fang is a Pioneer Vanguard, or basically someone who blocks 2. Please bring along a Vanguard that blocks 2 as well to replace your Fang if you want to. And then the final operator is a Spot, which is a Healing Defender. If you have a Null or a Saria or a Gumi, there'll be wonderful replacements in here. There are 2 free slots that you see over there. If you have stronger operators built in your account, then please bring them into stage. I only show you 11 operators because this is the simplest, lowest requirement way that I can guide you through. Alright, let me show you how it's done. RI-EX-8. So, place your Vanguard DP generator right over there. Then place your range guard in on this tile facing to the right. Next in line, place your Pioneer Vanguard. And then you place your single target medic facing up. Then place your high damage dealer, so your arts guard or whichever guard that you brought, right on this tile facing to the right. So this is very effective in a way where by placing the medic first, then you place your arts guard after, you're allowing for... I'm going to turn on Midnight Skill because I'm worried that he cannot block enough people. By placing your arts guard after you place your medic, it helps you to ensure that the ranged enemies will hit your melee operator instead of your medic instead. So anyways, I cut the tree stump diagonally across Midnight, and I cut the tree stump at the bottom as well. Continue cutting it as what you see. Then, once you've cut this particular tree stump, the second one, you can place your Eyjafjalla in facing to the right. Now we're going to be racing here. Please cut the tree stumps on the bottom row. Because in order to place our next caster, which is Click, we need to make sure that she has a healer. So we'll place Click in right about now. I think this is good. And then I'll place a medic facing upwards, followed by a healing defender over here. So the healing defender is placed last so that the aggro is onto him. Then just like that, you have your operators all set up. I'm going to turn on Ansel skill in order to ensure that Fang survives. And just like that, the boss is out. Use Eyjafjalla's skill, use Click skill. You can remove Myrtle now, and then place your Ethan in, because you need his skill later on. You can remove Fang as well, and you place your Orchid facing to the right. Don't face to the left. I'll tell you why in a bit. Alright, so Click is trying to deal the last bit of damage. As soon as he explodes, then what we'll do is we will use Ethan's skill against him. So we hope that Ethan binds. Even if he doesn't, then Orchid is next in line to slow him. So if you face Orchid to the left, what you're gonna do is that you see how there are brawlers right now? Orchid will prioritize the brawlers instead of the boss. So by facing her to the right, then the boss will be only slowed by Orchid instead. I'm gonna use Hibiscus skill to ensure that Orchid is surviving. I'm gonna use Orchid skill as well to slow the boss even more. Then when Orchid is done with her business, you can remove Orchid and you can place your Pioneer Vanguard back into play right behind Moose. Just like that, you've cleared out the boss, then you're left with all of the remaining enemies. We'll try to ensure that Moose is living right now. So I'm going to use Spot skill for her. So I can use Ethan if I still want to, since I brought him to the stage. Let's see if he binds anyone. If not, now, you see that this is the second Tiakao champion that appeared. You can use Eyjafjalla against him because the next one is going to exit the box just about now. So just like that, you eliminate all of the enemies, and there you go. A simple 11 operator strategy that you guys can use, tweak it to whatever that you have within your account. Alright, I hope that my easy strategy has not gone to vain. I apologize for posting this so late, but may this help for those of you who have yet to clear this stage. Alright, that's all for this particular event. I hope that you guys will also get your Tomimi medal soon. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.